Cut the music. Cut the music. Cut the music. It's too upbeat. Dai Henwood. This weekend, I was hurt. I guess through my relationship with the Warriors over the last 25 years, it's been up and down. You sort of get used to it. But over the last 2 years, it's been so good. It's been so good. But then on the weekend, they hurt me again.
Well, this is a safe space, so you can show me on the doll where the Titan touched you.
I mean, where didn't the Titan touch me? 11 tries.
66 times over 80 minutes.
66 times. Almost one a minute.
The number of the beast, 66.6.
We need to exercise. We need to exercise this performance. And that's what we're here to do on the Mad Monday podcast, brought to you by 4 and 20 Pies. We're here to exercise the demons from this absolute drubbing. I was just so flat commentating it at the time, Di. I have now commentated the 2 worst losses in Warriors history.
So there was no redemption. It was a couple of quick tries. Okay, actually, I was thinking initially, couple of quick tries, that's okay. This is good. The Warriors come back. Usually when we score early, it's bad. But then I was like, oh, another try. It was relentless.
And then it got worse in the second half. So we went into the half down by quite a bit, and I thought, here's the comeback. This is going to be a big comeback. And it just got so much worse. Full field tries, intercept tries, rolling us down the field from their own goal line.
RTS sent off.
I don't even know where to start. What the fuck?
It's a game also where we viciously lost everything. 11 tries to 1. 169 runs to 139. They won the possession. The territory was 50-50. The run meters weren't.
Because they were scoring from their own half.
Line breaks, 13 to 1. Errors. We made 12. They made 6. It's just grim.
Let me give you some words. Let me give you some words here, Di. Soft, embarrassing, destroyed, absolutely dominated. Those were all words used by Webby at the press conference afterwards.
Wow.
He was trying to remain quite upbeat, as he often does. He's like, oh, this is still a good team. We can
And he owned it. He said, I'm a big part of this.
Yes. And the thing that hurts me the most, I think, out of all of it, is that despite the fact that there were 11 tries, if I told you that the Gold Coast Titans scored 11 tries, how many would you say that Dave Fifita scored? Probably 3.
I'd think Dave Fifita had a 300-point Supercoach game, 3 tries, 10 tackle busts.
Nah, he didn't score 1. I think he scored 60 points in Supercoach.
It was the young boys, Who, Kinney?
Keno Kinney and Jaden Campbell. And I was saying before the game, I said this last week, these are the exact guys that we struggle with. Those whip-it, quick, skinny little dudes who just whip through. We're slow.
So generally we are slower than other teams,
yes.
right? And we're evenly slow. We don't have a couple of real sprinters, but we looked like we were walking through mud. Looked like we were playing in mud and they were on a dry track. Yeah. Granted, it was so hot there, but we were mentally out of that game. What worried me, I know every player on that park wanted to win, but we looked like we didn't care.
Yeah.
And Adam Fanua-Blake at one point looked like he was going to walk straight to Cronulla.
Yeah.
At about a quarter of the way through the game. He had one of his worst games.
He did. It was like towards the end of the game, he took a hit up and I was just like, where the hell has he been for a while? But the thing is, we didn't really have the ball,
I read an interesting analysis on Reddit, which actually rung quite true with me. I believe it was from Shiverdick_3, who said, was last year a false dawn? Because it's very hard to back up when you've had 5 players have career best years. Pompey, Wigan, DWZ, Sean Johnson, Jackson Ford, right? And probably a couple others have career best years. It's very hard to back up a career best year. He also made an interesting point.
Shiverdick did.
Shiverdick _3. That's 3 as in I as well, not the number 3.
Oh, it's the Royal 3.
The Royal 3.
Yeah.
Also made the point that coming into last year, Sean Johnson had 3 out of form years. So potentially teams did no video on him. Then he wound the clock back and just played out of his skin. Now they've done all the video on how he steps, how he runs.
Yeah, where he likes to get the ball.
Yeah, where he likes to get the ball. And the worrying stats, we've won 3, lost 8 with SJ at halfback. We've won 3, lost 0 with Tamati at halfback.
Yeah.
I feel if we want to persist with SJ, we need to put CHT, not Tamati, at 6, because I believe Tamati is a halfback. We need a running. We either need CHT or Metcalf at 6.
Well, we miss Metcalf so much.
Or we go Tamati at halfback and CHT at 6.
What about, and I've been proposing this for a number of weeks now, if not a jersey swap, at least a role swap between Tamati and Sean Johnson. We keep Sean Johnson on the park. It's just that Tamati Martin steers the ship instead of Sean Johnson. And then SJ can just pick his spots, run lines, sort of, go back to the hot stepping Sean Johnson that he used to be.
Or do you have CHT in the 14 and CHT and Sean actually swap a bit? Yeah. So you have Sean in that 6, and then CHT comes on and subs for him.
And spells him.
Yeah, so then Sean's playing an impact game. Because he looks a bit broken. He got another injury in that game.
Yeah.
He's been an amazing servant for the club, but something needs to happen in this because the New South Wales boys are popping off. They beat the Dragons 18-8, I believe.
Yep.
They're flying. When we had the young boys in and we mounted those 3 wins, which sort of got our season back on track, we were flying with the Tuapikis, the MGMT, the old Moala, Graham Tofa.
Yep.
Those boys.
Laban.
Zion. There's still some big, fast boys in that cup side. We need some pace.
Yeah, Mitch Barnett even said that after one of those games. He was just like, it was the young fellas that led the way for us. Like, they turned up and they were giving it their all, because they were on debut or whatever, trying to make a name for themselves. And it reminded all of the older players, oh, shit, that's right. You can't just show up and go through the motions. Like, you got to show up and go hammer and tongs.
And aside from the fact that Tohu is rugby league's Stephen Adams, he looks remarkably like Stephen Adams when you put them side to side.
Yeah, he does.
He's looking a bit knackered, eh?
Yeah, he looks buggered.
He just looks worn.
But he always looks like that. But having said that, he does look like that. You know what I mean?
And the game before, when we started Dylan Walker at 13, I thought that we played with a lot of pace and energy.
Bit more fizz.
Whether we need to start the game with Walker and Jazz on,
I think that Tohu just goes into that sort. I mean, he already is a middle forward, but I think he sort of goes into that prop rotation, and then we have Jazz and Dylan just into that 13 jersey.
And what this game showed as well is how important Mitch Barnett is to our side.
Well, off the kickoff in the second half, Jazz Tavanga took the first hit up off the back fence. That's how out of stock we were.
But why isn't a Laban?
Yeah, exactly. They didn't come on till like the last 10 minutes.
Also, I feel Bunty's been a bit hard done by.
Well, he has been.
But then
injured.
we've actually got good stocks, and yeah, he has been injured.
He's had a hammy. I think he was the 18th man this weekend, or at least he was. Named
so hopefully he will be coming back.
We could do with that. That's a bit of fizz off the bench.
What's just what worries me is this is the equal to the worst loss for us, and it's the best ever win for the Titans. Mm-hmm. They are. I mean, they're no easy beats. 17th best team in the comp, right? And
there's only 16 better.
It's the second time we've lost to them this year. What worries me is we're playing the Broncos at home. We struggle at Mount Smart to win this year.
Yeah. And also,
You know, we've lost to the Dragons at Mount Smart. We've lost to the Titans at Mount Smart. We choked against Cronulla at Mount Smart.
We choked against the Sea Eagles.
The Sea Eagles at Mount Smart, where we just clawed back that draw.
Yeah.
It's
we should have won.
What do you think? Are we playing finals this year?
I just feel like, and this goes back to my original point, it could be so good. Or am I holding on to a relationship that's not there anymore?
So with results going for us, we need to win 7 out of 9 games.
Yes, we did this.
Plus we have the 2 byes.
Did this experiment last week, and even then we were like, well, we're going to beat the Titans and we'll beat the Tigers. Well, they've both run up massive scores this weekend, and we got a hiding.
So now we basically, to guarantee the 8, we can't drop a game now.
For the remainder of the season.
Yeah, to guarantee it. To be in that mathematical equation, we could drop 2 games. But that's, I just see some more games dropped than we think are on the cards, because like
the Bulldogs.
Brisbane's going to be a hard game.
Yeah.
The Broncos, we've got Broncos, Dogs, Raiders, Tigers, Eels, Dolphins, Manly, Dogs, Sharks. We play the Dogs twice.
I think they beat us twice.
They're a very good side, and we play them away and at home. We play the Sharks last. Right?
Yeah.
The Sharks will be getting their shit together to go into finals. Mm-hmm. Manly, we're playing right towards the end of the season, so they will have their stocks back.
Or Turbo will be out again, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. The Raiders and the Tigers are like looking like a danger team with all the young players.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a cracker of a game. It was
sadly.
I started watching that game, and then I turned it off for 10 minutes, and I was like, my appetite for league is just...
Yeah.
I feel put off my league this weekend because of that Warriors loss. Then I tuned back in, and I was like, whoa, the Tigers are up.
It's the greatest game of all.
Yeah, and then they put a score on. Then all that went through my head is, oh, God, we'll get beaten by the Tigers. How do you turn the ship around? Webby, I think people also forget, Webby is a very novice coach, right? He's as novice as Cameron Ciraldo. Mm-hmm. Cameron Ciraldo at the Bulldogs had a shocker year last year, but the Dogs have come right this year. Are we reverse way round? We had a honeymoon period, then we're having teething issues.
And we wanted Ciraldo. He was our first choice. We didn't get him, and then we got Webster. And then last year we were like, shame, we got the right one.
Yeah, Webby's not the issue, no. I think. However, I'm intrigued with his selections, right? Because I thought Kossi was a very intriguing selection because he hasn't been fizzing at Cup.
And
I was wondering more whether you bring Graham Tolfa in, who had that absolutely epic game, or whether we need a Tain Tuapiki on a wing to just... Because he's fast.
He is fast, but he would get peppered on defence. They'd just bomb on his head all night.
He's a shorter body as well. So
so we put Roger out on one of the wings.
Roger out at one of the wings. I keep thinking how good Chance was in the halves at one time he played. He was such a ball player.
I mean, I know we've been talking about this entire season. Does RTS need to be back at fullback? I think he does.
So he hasn't been unlocked, right?
Nah.
For some reason, when Sean's playing, RTS's side never gets the ball.
Nah.
And this had no impact on the game, but he shouldn't have been sent off for that tackle.
No, that was ridiculous.
That was rubbish. I saw some diehard fans still claiming the ref did us. There might have been a couple of calls, but 66-6.
Yeah. No, I think we need the ball in Rogers' hands more often, and I don't know. We've just got to try something.
And also,
He's not going to do it though.
when he's at centre, he doesn't have any of those chances where he's really winding up.
Nah.
So he's not putting on his lightning full footwork at full pace.
Nah.
However, I would say Chance is better under the high ball than Roger. Roger's got a few drops in him. Also,
Touch the manus.
I love me some Jackson Ford, but he makes a mistake at the epic time.
And I thought that
He drops the ball over the line. He drops the ball in scoring opportunities.
Yeah.
Whenever he drops the ball, it seems to be at such a crucial point.
And I think that's why I thought that's why they moved him into the middle. It was like, we can't keep having you knock this ball on every time it comes out to you at the edge. Well, sure enough, he's doing it in the middle too. So, I don't know.
Mass respect to Marata Niokore.
Yeah,
He was one of our best on field.
he goes hard.
I still think Chance gives it his all.
Yeah, 100%.
Our defence was woeful, though.
Porous.
Softer than a lemonade sandwich, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know how you fix that. I don't know how you fix the will to stand up for each other. I mean, James Fisher-Harris is going to shake things up when he comes over.
If
He won't be tolerating any of this rubbish.
No. That is a good point, actually. Like, Eden Whenua-Blake, he's out at the end of this season. What does he give a shit?
He looks a bit signed out.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit. Not massively. Like, he's still going to take a massive carry. He'll still make any tackle that you ask him to. It's just that I've never seen him once rally the boys when we're down. You know,
No.
He's not going to turn that around. But you're right, James Fisher-Harris will. But he must-
SJ was crying when he walked to the sheds.
Yeah, that means a bit to him. But he also looks injured. But yeah, I don't know. I think we've just got to fire some shots. I would rather, and this hasn't been Webster's DNA at all, but I would rather that we shuffled the team up a bit, had a crack, fired some shots, and then missed the 8, than stuck with what's clearly not working and then missed the 8 anyway.
I completely agree. My thing is going, look, we're not winning the comp this year, right? No team who has had a 50-point plus drubbing has ever won the comp. But can we cause some issues around finals? Potentially. Why wouldn't you blood the young boys when you got Rocco Berry with a injury that looks to keep him out for quite a while? Why wouldn't you blood some of these young guys? And especially forwards with game time.
I don't know. But I mean, Jacob Laban sat on the bench for 70 minutes on Saturday, so
I
can't see it
worry.
changing.
Yeah, he often leaves. We often have one player on the bench who plays 10 minutes or less.
Yeah. So we're playing with one less player than the other team, essentially.
There's a lot I can't understand there. I actually wouldn't be surprised if Webby names the same team.
Yeah, he will. He will.
So
And then they'll probably win, and we'll be like, well, what the fuck do we know?
weirdly, we'll go 13 plus on the Broncos.
Yeah, that's right.
So will Reece Walsh back up?
Yes, I'd say he will. I think that Reece Walsh is sick of people saying that he's soft.
Yeah.
I think he's got a bit to prove. I also think he loves playing rugby league.
And he probably likes tearing up the Warriors. I worry Dean Mariner,
Yeah.
Reece Walsh,
Ezra Mam.
Katoni
Staggs.
Yeah, they've got a good side.
Got a good team. Yeah, I think that hopefully if we can get them just after Origin, we can drag them down. We'll do a bit of a deep dive on that later on in the week, a shortened week because of Matariki. Let's take a quick break. If we get anything more on the Warriors, can we put this in the rearview mirror?
I think we have to put it in the rearview mirror. It was our biggest sighting in a very long time. It was the lowest point for Webby in his career so far. Let's hope this is a blip.
Yep.
Let's hope this is a speed bump. Let's hope it's a banana skin. And let's hope we get the full banana up us next week.
We're going to take a quick break. Just before we do, the 4 and 24 pack prize pack is back each month. The Mad Monday team have got 4 tickets to the next home game and 4 and 20 pie vouchers as well. Just text the monthly keyword to 3236, which for the month of June is Yum. When we come back, we're going to give you the Stonka of the Round. It's time now for the Stonka of the Round. And the Stonka this week it was the first game of the round, I believe. It was the Dolphins versus the Storm. 30
On a
points,
Friday night.
30 points to 24. It was a hell of a game, and it came right down to it. Both teams scoring late in the piece. Jermaine Osako was just brought down short at the 79th minute, and it was a little bit of a fizzer at the end, but what a game. It was a contender for Game of the Year, and both teams right at the height of their powers. Tavita Pangai Jr. back for the Dolphins as well. I may have brought him into my Supercoach team.
Tavita Pangai Jr. Like, I thought he was going to be a bit of a write-off. He actually was a big impact player.
He was.
That shot where he came out of the line.
I rewatched that this morning. I didn't hear it when it happened at the time. If you rewatch it with headphones on, you can clearly hear the ref yelling, Tavita! Because he's 10 metres offside.
He was almost in the offensive line.
Yeah, and he absolutely smoked them.
And it was a fair hit, though.
It was a fair hit. He looked apologetic afterwards. He was like, yeah, sorry, I definitely got my timing wrong. Just a little bit excited, fellas. I don't know if you know, but I retired last year.
I know, but he just started running out of the line. It was a great game to watch. Here's my takeaway from that. Jerome Hughes is hard done by because he's not Origin eligible.
Yeah.
I reckon he is the second best halfback in the NRL behind Nathan Cleary.
This year, definitely.
I mean, yeah, purely this year. He had the ball on a string against the Warriors. He tried a bit too much maybe early on in the Dolphins game, but he did some weird-ass kicks. But he knows how to just get a team humming.
Yeah, and he'll carve you to bits as well if you're not looking.
And I think often when Munster was there, he played second fiddle to Munster.
Yeah.
But Tyrone Wishart is popping off.
Yeah.
Shit, Melbourne just are a good side.
I know. Pappy's back. He scored in his return as well and looked good too.
He looked pretty electric.
Yeah, he did.
And how good's Nick Manny?
Nick Manny.
Because he, no matter where he's playing, he gives it his all. He's superb. Nelson Asafa Solomona's coming back into form. But the Dolphins gave it a red hard go and a red hot go. It's not red hard. They gave it a red hard go. How good's Trey Fuller as well?
He's excellent. He's going to be another one of these dudes, sort of like, I was going to say Blake Taft, but you know, when there's like a starting grade fullback waiting in the wings, but just can't get any game time.
I feel a bit sorry for him because I was like, surely he should be fullback for the Indigenous All-Stars next year. Then I was like, oh, you got Trell.
The Hammer.
The Hammer. You've got quite hefty Indigenous stocks there.
Yeah.
But he is just, he's an electric player.
Yeah, he is.
He's great to watch. He reminds me a little bit of Tane Tuapiki, actually, just in the thing of he's hungry and he's always just...
Yeah.
He's always in the discussion.
Yeah.
Will Warbrick had a bit of a standout game.
Yeah, Will Warbrick is tremendous.
Just a massive ex-New Zealand Sevens player.
Yeah, just another long list of New Zealanders poached by the Melbourne Storm who go on to have a...
And they just turn them into great players, don't they?
Yeah, Warbrick, Hughes, Katoa, they're the Bromwich brothers there for years.
Bellamy's really taken Ili Katoa under his wing, man. He just is playing great football. How good is he running onto a bomb?
Ili Katoa.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the best. Just last week, and he took Adam Pompey's lollies, ripped the ball out from
On the try line.
On the try line and just scored a try. It was just like, yeah, I don't know. That game, though, if that was the last game of the round, that would have restored your faith in rugby league because just the back and forth nature of it. Suafa'alonga was about to score a 100-metre try until they got called back for Jerome Hughes shepherding.
Oh, I really love the fact that even though they've got Pappenhausen, they're still playing Suafa'alonga.
Yeah.
What was he in the 14 jersey, maybe?
I think he may have even started on the...
Because he came in, I noticed when he moved sort of further back, Pappenhausen was playing dummy half for quite a while.
Yeah, right. No, look,
Bellamy was laughing after that game.
well, because he Well, I don't know.
Well, normally he's got angry cokehead vibes.
Yeah, he does. But I think, he got beaten by Wayne Bennett again. And I think that's probably what he was laughing at. Just like, fuck, I can't beat this dude. It doesn't matter what team he's with.
No.
He's got my number. But yeah, I think that was quite clearly game of the round. It could have been one right on the hooter as well.
So that puts what, with the Storm taking that out, they are clear number one on the ladder. Dolphins are fifth. And you got Penrith and Cronulla munting around 1 and 2. You got Roosters in at fourth.
Yeah.
My second team, the Roosters, they had a bit of a brutal win against the Dogs with one of the most heftiest head-high tackles I've seen in a while.
It was an old school clothesline head high. And the replay looks awful. It looked awful in real time. Junior Ponga was the guy who did it.
And he also, the guy who he clotheslined wasn't really looking his way. He came from the inside as well.
Yeah. And hit him late without the ball directly in the head. Head whipped around. It looked like a crash
DWZ tackle from last week.
Yeah, it did. Funniest part about that game, though, early doors in the first half, there was a streaker. And they didn't show it, as they often don't. Later on in the game got stopped. And everyone's like, what the fuck was that for? And they'll look at the ref. Everyone thought that they'd been penalised. They look over at the ref. He's holding a phone, an iPhone. And they're like, what the fuck? And he goes, there's a phone on the field. And one of the trainers had to come and get it off him. It was from the streaker. So when the streaker got tackled, he dropped his phone and left it on the field.
That is respect.
Rugby league.
Sucked in.
Yeah.
You lost your iPhone. But I suppose at least, they would have arrested the streaker.
Do you reckon they gave it back to him, the phone?
Potentially.
I reckon they may have. Couple of other things from around the league before we go to another ad break, and then you come off the back fence. The bottom two teams, we talked about them, the Tigers and the Titans, unfortunately, put on 112 points this weekend.
That is insane.
Yeah.
And now the person in last is not a team you'd expect.
Oh, geez.
See if you can guess who's in last.
Yeah. So it was the Tigers. And they just beat the Raiders. The Titans were second last. So if they both vaulted oh, God, no, I can't.
The Parramatta Eels.
Is it the Eels?
The Eels are 17th. Tigers 16th. Titans 15th. Souths 14th. Warriors 13th.
Up the wires.
Up the wires. So at best we could move to 11th.
If we win next week.
We could move to 12th. Okay. We can only go up one because Manly are ahead of us by 2 in 11th, and they've got a positive points differential. They're the only team with a positive points differential in the bottom 8. Our points differential took a hammering. We were positive, but now a negative 47. And South sadly look like they're going on a...
they'll win the
my
finals.
son's stoked, but...
They'll make noise in the finals.
South look like they're winding up. Oh no, South and Manly have a bye next week, so we stay exactly where we are, even if we win.
And just a little bit of late mail. Rocco Berry, of course, injured, so he didn't travel with the team. I'm hearing that while the Warriors are missing his D, it's still available at the Long Room in Ponsonby.
Player got to play.
Apparently, the pants man, Joel Harrison, was pesting around Rocco Berry on the weekend, pesting him for an injury update. I don't know. It sounds like he could be out for a while.
So, how does the pants man, does he slip air tags into these NRL players' bags or something?
He must.
I see a few NRL players, but it's always around an NRL game or I've gone out to a training, right? His hit rate for seeing NRL players in the wild is phenomenal.
It's incredible. There's definitely something going on there. I don't know how he's finding them. He's always got the mail before anyone else has heard it as well.
It's also a bit of a worry for Rocco if he's, you're properly injured if you're not travelling with a team and that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, I thought it was initially a hand, but now they're saying a shoulder.
Because he was holding his shoulder and then he was in a sort of full sling.
He's also got a broken hand. Just take a few weeks out, mate.
It's a shame because if you look at our defensive performance,
Yeah.
He was well needed. Best
Yeah.
one-on-one tackler in the league.
Oh, tremendous D.
I see Taylor May has been given his second breach notice by the Panthers. I don't think he'll be playing a lot of rugby league.
No, he won't. I think he's made his account private, but he was one of the wildest follows for a wee while there. And this was before he got
the new car and then did the break the speed barrier past the school bus, eh?
Yeah, he was on his Instagram story doing 100 Ks past the school. This was, again, before he got the throat tattoo of his own last name.
It's these sort of own goals. Like, was it Big Tino vaping in the...
No, Kevin Proctor.
Kevin Proctor, Sideshow Bob, vaping in the toilets on Instagram at halftime.
Put it on his Instagram story, not the halftime vapes. It's like, what the fuck?
It's just massive own goals.
You don't need it.
Also, if you're doing double the speed limit past a school in a car you've just been given,
It's out the gate. All right, let's take one last quick break. When we come back, Dai is coming off the back fence.
Oh, a long kickoff. The offload to Henwood, and he's off the back fence. Boom time.
do you know when it's darkest? Do you know when it's coldest? Do you know when the ice forms on the grass? Just before dawn, that's when. And do you know a lesson I learned way back in the late 90s after a big night at the Fat Lady's Arms on Dollar Shot Night? I learned that it's crucial to pull out. Always pull out, pull back, pull out, and look at the world view. Don't judge this game on this game. Don't judge the Warriors by a 66-6 loss. Pull out. Look at all the glory that we've had. Look at the fresh green shoots that are punching through the winter soil. Look at the boys we've got in New South Wales Cup coming up. Look at the Harold G. Matts boys. Look at the under-15s. If you look, we've got the stocks. We're going to make the run. It might not be this year. It might not be next year, or it could be next year. You've got to realise the Māori hora that these boys have. The Warriors waka. It's paddling its way across to Australia, and it will lift the grand final. Now is not the time to get off the bandwagon. Now is the time to get new tyres. Now is the time to click the seatbelt. Now is the time to solidify yourself as a rusted-on Waz fan, because we are coming, baby. When it is darkest, that is when we will rise like the Phoenix. Definitely not the Wellington Phoenix. Absolute shocker of a season. We'll rise like the traditional Phoenix. And the other teams will just see our glorious wings flapping towards the sun, but we won't fly too close like Icarus with those wax wings, and we will not fall. We will get the trophy. We will hold it above our heads. And I want you to be there. Warriors fans, unite. Bring it on for the Brisbane Broncos as we defeat them. Am I saying 13 plus? Yes, I am. Woo. Will it happen? Most likely. Back the boys, and we'll see you this weekend. Woo. Kia ora.
Play that in the sheds. Play that in the sheds. Webby, play that in the sheds this week. Get the boys back up. I'm back on Boyd. Di, thank you very much for that. We needed that this week.
Yeah, I'm going to be calling the Broncos game with Keezy.
Yeah.
It's this Saturday night. I believe it's the 5 p.m. game. Let me just furiously check that. 5 p.m. at Go Hard, Go Media Stadium, the Fruit Bowl against the Broncos.
Yeah, State of Origin between now and then as well. We will have your coverage of that live from 10 o'clock. Kickoff probably closer to 10:20.
How good would a 9 o'clock kickoff be?
For all involved. Why not 6 over there, 8 o'clock our time? I don't know. Greater minds than ours. Let's lock it on the head for today. We'll be back on Thursday for another episode of the Mad Monday podcast, breaking down State of Origin. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your Supercoach trades, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Matewa.
An Australia without rugby league is not Australia.